gosh, what day is it? It's Friday morning. So it's a little chilly, a little cold this morning, but it could be worse. We're currently on baby watch. I came out at 5 a.m. this morning. Because I was looking at the camera. There's a camera over there in the corner. And it looked like there was like a weird thing in the grain bin, but it wasn't very clear. And I saw Bernicia standing there, so I wasn't sure what was on the camera, so I came out at 5 to look, and then of course I had to give Mocha his bottle. So he came in the house and drank some milk, and then Chad brought him back out at 6. So Mocha is probably not super hungry since he did get a bottle a few hours ago. Good morning, Mom. I'm gonna put on gloves. So I was not successful in keeping chia and nutmeg separate last night. Chia's baby was screaming, so I just went ahead and put her back in this pen. So I don't know if she's gonna have anything to milk out, but she needs the practice. And Miss Cecily was, hi Mocha. Mocha, you just got a bottle a few hours ago. You don't need to get another bottle this second. Mocha. Good morning, Gracie. How are you? Good morning, babies. Hi, Frosty. Frosty has been drinking a bottle every time Mocha does, but not this morning. Since I just brought Mocha in with me, I could not give Frosty any, but I'll give her some today. So, how did you get in here? This little dough is supposed to be in the middle. I guess she just pushed that door open. Ma'am, did you escape? Are you an escape artist? Okay, so I'm going to sweep this room. There's too many goats in and out. Babies should start eating feed soon. And they already are nibbling on it, so I like to see that. It's really good for their rumen development to go ahead and start eating feed, nibbling on feed as soon as possible. Goaty goaties. Babies. Keep your feet out. Okay, Cecily, are you ready to be milked? Sagey. Sage. Are you eating out of the milk stand? And licorice. Oh no, sick kiddo still. Is it the stomach flu like you thought? Hopefully no one else in the family catches it. Good morning, Mocha. Say good morning to Gracie. His ears are going up, so he doesn't look quite so ridiculous. They're becoming more upright. Good morning, Angel. Argentina, wow. Thank you for watching. So yesterday, or last night, I was out here and Willow kept hearing a goat and I thought that it was, I can't remember. I thought it was a different goat. Anyway, it turned out to be Pancake. And Pancake and Mocha were talking to each other. That was not nice, ma'am. You just booted Mocha right off the stand. So I don't know if it's because Pancake is feeding Mocha and so like he smells like her because of drinking her milk or what, but she started like talking to him. But you know, of course he doesn't drink off of her because he's never drank off of a goat. He's only drank the bottle. So he doesn't know how to drink off of a goat. So you guys have mangled this door. Okay. Excuse me, Mocha. So I don't know why she keeps chatting, and it's already been, today is 2 weeks. So I feel like that's too long to just start accepting your baby. His stomach is feeling better. His ears are still hurting. Oh no, ear pain is just terrible. I really hope he feels better. I hate when my kids get earaches or ear infections. I'm gonna get this door to lock. Oh well. Hey Sass, I guess you're up first. Sassily. No, licorice. Go in there. Sassily, why did you just jump off? Try it again. Oh, there's your baby. Hi, ma'am. See that you decided to join us. Forgot that this little doe kid jumps through the door. I do homeschool my kids. Oh, you are? How exciting. How old is your son? William is 10, but he'll be 11 in May. I would love to meet some other local homeschoolers. Hitting my volume button. So my daughter's 15 and my son's 10. And this is our third year in a row homeschooling, although we finished out the 20 and 2021 school year with homeschooling. William was in kindergarten that year, and it was like a virtual option, and it was just, I think it was terrible for kindergartners, so. We switched to homeschooling that year, they went back the next year, and then they started homeschooling again, and we've been doing it since then. Mocha's acting like he's starving. Like I said, he had a bottle at 5 o'clock. Okay, Mocha, you gotta get off the milk stand. You're gonna make her all antsy. I don't think that he can jump up this height yet. Sleep. feel like Cecily is winding down. She has been nursing her 3 does since July 3rd. And that's 7 months. And I've not really been milking her much during that time, just once in a while. The babies were so tiny. They got to be dam raised and bottle fed, and I was thinking like these does are never going to be big enough to breed. But now they are 7 months old and they are all almost 40 pounds, so they have grown tremendously well. And Cecily's not a big doe. She's probably one of the smallest senior does that I have. Hey, Mr. Mocha, you can try Cecily's milk. So my son yesterday came out and said he had wanted to milk Pancake, but I don't know where he's at. I told him I was coming out. He did milk her last night. Pancake is his goat, his like 4-H goat. Mr. Mocha, your bottle's ready. Hi in Johnson County, Tennessee. So your youngest is 4 and you have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. 3 boys. Oh my goodness. You're busy, Gracie. Hi, Grown's Family Farm. You homeschool as well. Well, I love to hear it. I follow your channel. I love seeing your videos. So Cecily did not milk a whole lot. I think there's probably about 10 ounces in this bottle. And if you think Mocha's starving, he did have a bottle at 5 a.m. So I don't think that he's actually starving, but he's very enthusiastic. Why are you not even drinking? I'm gonna give it to another goat. Gracie, I was homeschooled too from 6th grade up. Johnson Country, Tennessee. Oh, you're in Georgia. Okay. Hi, Kyron. Oh, you're homeschooled too. Cool. Yeah, he's not really hungry, honestly. So he's just kind of playing with the nipple. He gets very possessive over it. So if I offered this to another goat, he would probably eat it, just because he hates to see another kid drink a bottle. He drank a ton when I fed him this morning. I think he drank like, he's 2 weeks old, so for a Nigerian dwarf, it's a good amount. I think it was about 12 ounces. Okay, babies. So I have been trying to feed Sage's babies on the bottle because they're so tiny. This is Basil. You can see she already has milk foam, so she's already been drinking off of her dam. Hi, Basil. Nutmeg, goodness gracious. So we will try her. I've been trying Pepper as well, so she does not eat as well as Basil. I'm really hoping that these doe kids get a really good growth rate. So you can see she's still pretty tiny. The belly does feel full. Oh my goodness. So these nipples, I really like them, but they're a fast flow, especially for a kid that goes from drinking off of her dam, which isn't that fast of a flow, and they have to work a lot harder. to this, where it'll basically just flow out of the nipple if they do nothing. I've tried several different kinds of nipples though, and it's still my favorite. Hi Jody, good morning. Oh, Gracie, you were homeschooled. Okay, very cool. So I'm guessing you know this, but Mark from Mulberry Branch is my brother, and he was homeschooled too. Her belly's a little bit fuller. Look at this little baby belly. Still has her umbilical cord. You are so cute. Okay, let's try another little dough kid. Oh, Taffy. Not Taffy. Frosty. So Frosty's getting pretty big. She will be 3 weeks old on Sunday. She was a triplet. She weighed a little bit over 3 pounds. Man, if you don't drink this, your brother is gonna scarf it down because her brother is like right there. So the only one that is exclusively bottle fed is Mocha. And he started out drinking maybe 6 to 7 ounces per bottle, and I try to do 4, maybe 5 bottles a day, depending, like if he seems really hungry. And then he's gone up from there. So I'll usually give him like 5 minutes to try on the bottle. After that, if he's, you know, still not drinking, then we're done. I know a lot of people do very strict bottle feeding schedules, like depending on the weight of the kid, the number of ounces. I honestly have never done that. I offer the kid whatever they want in a certain amount of time, and after, you know, 5, maybe longer when they're newborns because they drink slower, 5-10 minutes when they're done, you know, they're done. Then I'll offer that same amount next time. You don't want the bottle? So yesterday, he really wanted the bottle. Did you just drink all your mom's milk? This is Frosty's brother. He will be 3 weeks old on Sunday. And he feels really heavy. He's feeling quite big. Look at this little belly. So right now, the biggest kid that I have is Nutmeg's kid. He is 2 weeks old today, and he is up to 11 pounds. And he is exclusively dam raised. I've never given him a bottle. Jody, the new babies are named Basil, the brown one that I just bottle fed. She's right here in this little sweater. So this is Basil. She has a spice name. This is the spice line. It goes from nutmeg to sage to basil. And then the other little doe kid is named Pepper. Hi, Sanjay. Your birthday is in 14 days. Happy early birthday, Jody. I'll probably see you on that day. Let's see, that'll be the 21st. Guys, we're getting so close to March, and it's making me very hopeful and very happy. I am gonna grab Taffy because she does not drink the bottle. Or Pepper, maybe I'll grab Pepper. Who's out there? Is that Crumble? So this is Taffy. And look how big this little belly is. It's very full. If I put my hand there right in front of her back legs, it feels very nice and tight, which is what I want to feel. If it feels squishy, that means they need to eat. Taffy does not like the bottle. Taffy, just try it. Taffy. I've tried it several times with her. She doesn't. No. Okay. That was not a very good try. I think you let every bit of that milk fall out. Yes, now you have a pile of milk on my milk stand. So she was obviously not hungry. She was not willing to learn the bottle. She has been offered the bottle several times now. I don't know if I'll be successful in bottle training her unless I separate licorice and she gets hungry, because right now she's not open to trying the bottle. Yes, but you're very cute. Look at that nose. She's very expressive. If you guys are familiar with the Fleeman response, where they curl up their lip, she does that all the time. I don't know why she does it, but it's the cutest thing. How many goats are in my barn? Right now I have over 50, so we will be selling wethers and bucklings soon. Maybe a few does after they kid. Bye, Jody. Have a good day. Okay, so the problem I run into too is that the milk cools down when it's straight from the goat. Are you hungry, Crumble? Okay, so I did bring out Pepper and Snickers. So Snickers, again, is Taffy's sister. She's not really crazy about the bottle. Are you gonna try the bottle, Pepper? They were both snoozing. You're probably like, why did you wake me up? Being attacked by buckling brothers. Actually, Mocha's down here. He sees his bottle. Oh, Snickers, you didn't make it up. Last night, she actually drank pretty well. Are you gonna drink? She's one of the smaller kids. If you look at her, she does not look very big. If you look at her next to her sister, she looks much smaller than her sister. Good morning, Peter. Hope you're doing well. See, these two are litter mates. You can see the size difference right there. Sage is letting them drink. I'm not really sure how much Sage is producing. So the other day I did separate her and she did get really full. So I know that she's filling up. I'm just not really sure how much is in there. So kids do this weekend. Yes, we're expecting a lot of kids. You can see all of my maintenance. We did a ton of tattoos. It felt like a ton. We did 8 tattoos and microchips, a lot of multi-mins, some wormers and disbudding. Okay. Okay, so we have chocolate chip is due on Sunday. Hazel's due on Tuesday. Blackberry is due sometime during the week. I think she may have short cycled. Pumpkin, I really think she's going to go on the second due date. Minnie looks absolutely huge, and she is due on the 13th. So I guess we did breed her with Maverick, and Maverick has so far this year thrown 2 single buck kids, so I really hope that we get more does. Bernicia is due on the 11th. I'm excited to see Bernicia. She was the one that I thought might be doing something this morning, so I had to come out and check on her. Tiny and Maverick due on 220. So we have a couple does that are acting really bucky. When the other does are in heat, they have been jumping on them, and that's usually a sign that they're carrying more than one buck kid, and I don't like it. I always hate when I see it, but there's nothing we can do now, so I guess we'll wait and see what they have. And I am gonna go ahead and get Pancake out and milk her. These babies are so crazy. I put the ramp down because they try to get up on the stand with the dough, and then I'm also scared that they're going to squash another baby under the ramp. Okay, Miss Pancake, you know where to go. So Pancake has grown a lot. Her original green collar was turning into a choker, so we switched to a bigger green collar. Again, my son did milk her out a little bit earlier than usual last night. I think she got milked out. It was like 7:30. So that's a little bit longer of a fill than she normally gets. Oh, Mocha. So I really think Pancake might be a bottom filler. If you look, she's full here at the bottom of her udder. She's not full to the top. She can get fuller to the top. It would just take a little more filling and maybe probably a little more time. if you see a dam raising kids, those kids will empty that udder many, many times a day, telling the doe to produce more milk. So a dam raising kids is usually going to have higher production than a doe that's being milked. So I'm only emptying Pancake's udder twice a day. So when Licorice's and Sage's babies are about 2 weeks old, I'll probably separate them overnight so that way I can kind of see how they look full. I am excited to see them. They are half sisters. They're also somewhat related on the dam side. Already I can tell that Licorice has a really nice set of attachments on her mammary system, so I'm hoping for an improvement over her dam. We are too full. Do you want to drink a little bit, Mocha? Oh. No. You are so goofy. So if he doesn't drink it now, I will save it for his lunch bottle. Do you want to save it for lunch? Do you want to drink? Don't force yourself to drink. He did drink it down enough where I can add the rest of this. Are you ready to get out, man? Here, Pinky. Okay. Here's the ramp. So I probably will put these dams out today so they can get some socialization with the other does. Sage especially has been wanting to go out. Pancake, she is pretty. She always has gold kids. Her buckling last year was really pretty too. He was like gold with a big white belt. Chocolate Chip is gold with tons of moon spots. Good morning, Abe. Hope you're doing well. Okay, excuse me. Guys, you have the same feed over there. I'll never understand why it tastes better from this bucket than any other spot. Okay. To brace myself to go into the chaotic pen. Ow. Oh! Several does. Blackberry, you are going to be sold. You are being so annoying. She keeps trying to stick her head in the bucket and tip it. And honestly, I really, really hate that. Move. Scoot. I'll never understand why they stand in front of you sideways. I am hoping to design some kind of new feeding system. I don't like feeding this way. I feel like it's not working out well. They keep putting their feet in the feed pan, which I hate. Frosty's doing good. She's not out here. She drank a little bit of bottle. She's getting pretty big. Here's her brother. Hi, brother baby. Why are you out here? Oh, hi, Jody. So hopefully it dries up today. All the snow is gone. It's a little warmer. It's still pretty breezy today. I've been leaving this door open at night for them to get fresh air. Okay, easy baby, why are you not eating? Blackberry. Okay, you guys, yes. I've been letting Easy out because I know she has multiples. In the past, I really think she had milk fever after she gave birth to her triplets in 2023. Before they kid, it would be pregnancy toxemia. So I've been offering her a little bit of extra grain in the kidding room. Another one that I'm worried about with multiples is Miss Bernicia. She actually is feeling fuller today. She's due on the 11th. I did not ultrasound her because I did not have the ultrasound. But I'm worried she might have 4. I think she had 4 last year. Chocolate chip is due Tuesday. I'm sorry, Sunday. She's due Sunday. She doesn't really feel that full. This is Pancake's daughter. I guess you just get used to their names. I've had a lot of them pretty many years. This is Hazel. She had triplets last year. And I think she is due Tuesday as well. So I really feel like she will have at least 3. Bye, Jody. Enjoy the snow. I am curious how many chocolate chip will have because she was very overweight before she got pregnant. She was a dry yearling and she weighed 85 pounds, and that was as much as my 5-year-old doe that was milking. So hopefully she's not too overweight and it's going to cause her problems with kidding. And when she just moved, I saw her shoulder blade open up. If you look right here, sometimes you'll see a gap as they move. And being overweight exasperates that. It kind of looks like she did slim down though. I mean, if I'm pinching right behind the elbow, you don't feel like a big amount of fat. They don't like me pinching and poking them. See, you kind of see that hollow area right there? Well, brother, why did you come out here? You're gonna come out here and yell for your mom that's in the other room? So poor Nutmeg, she has the worst shoulder blades. You see how much movement there is while she walks? I don't know if you can see it on camera. You can see it, the hollow open up. Actually, you can see it right now as she stands. This. And the buck that I used, I bought a buck from New York back in 2020, and I bred him to Nutmeg. This is her daughter. He has a beautiful front end, and you see Hazel does not have any of that opening up at the shoulder blades. So 1 generation for it to be fixed is really great. Now the buck that I bred her to, I feel like his front end is not as good as hers. But his other general appearance is, especially when you come to the rear legs. So this is her daughter. This is Time. And I don't like her front end as much as I like her dams. But when you come back behind them, see how much width you have between the hocks on this doe? This is a senior. This is a senior kid last year. So now she would be a senior yearling. But you're seeing a lot of width between the hocks. You're seeing almost the same amount of width between the hocks on her dam, and this doe is going to be 4 years old this year. And then width between the hocks on Chocolate Chip is tremendous. Pancake is really wide. Maverick is also really wide, and this doe is extremely wide. Look how much width. And she maintains that while she walks. You don't see her hocking. You don't see that she doesn't start to get closer as she moves. Sassily, one thing I don't like about her is the width between the hocks. Look how wide this doe is. She looks like a meat goat. She's a little bit overweight, and you can see that too in the withers. See how rounded her withers and her shoulders look? You contrast that with Minnie, who looks nice and sharp right here like a wedge. So Cinnamon did not score well in dairy strength. She did do well in general appearance, which I think is one of her strong points. She's got a really nice slope to her rump from hips to pins, but when you look over the top of her rump, from thurl to thurl, she's actually got low thurls. So I'm honestly thinking about moving Cinnamon to like more of a 4-H home. She's not really competitive when you come to open shows. Her kid last year, though, I bred her to Maverick, and her little doeling is super stylish. She's a lot more dairy than her dam. She's a lot sharper. To keep their milk supply up, honestly, it's going to depend a lot on genetics. I have judged goats that have been in milk for 2 years, and they look phenomenal. They're producing a really good amount. You do have to milk them, twice a day to keep them going, or you could even, if you are just looking for like an amount for your family to drink, you could milk them once a day. And as long as they are not, bred again, they will keep milking. I know some does that have been milking several years. A lot of breeders will breed in the fall and have their goats kid in the spring and then milk them all spring and summer. Oh, darn it. And then dry them up after the show season. But if you're looking for a home milk supply, you can definitely drop them down to once a day. And if you don't breed them, though, they should keep milking as long as they come from good milk lines. Excuse me. A lot of people will just go ahead and kid their does out yearly, especially especially if you're buying a new buck and you want to see if the buck is improving your kids, you're showing, you want to, be more competitive. Because typically people are not going to show or sell their goats that are winning at the show. They're going to show them. So the only way you're going to get a really nice show doe is if you breed her, or if someone decides to get out of goats and they're selling all their stock. So Easy's not out here, but she's a really nice show doe. I paid a lot for her, and I kept having buck kids. At the time I had just bought the two does, and then the better one, Tiny, kept having buck after buck. So I was like, how am I going to get better, if I'm not having any does born? So I talked to the breeder at a show, and she has phenomenal goats. And I said, I just want a really nice show doe. And so she had never showed Easy. And I know it's because Easy is like, she's not very personable. A lot of times if you go up to her, she doesn't want you to touch her. And she said she had to go up and pretend like she wasn't going to grab her and then turn around and snatch her. So I think that's probably why she sold her. She just had a lot of goats and didn't feel like putting up with it. So the first time I took her to a ring, there was over 50 Nigerian dwarf does there in milk. And she took grand champion in 3 of the rings and reserve in the other. So if they win, there was 4 different judges. If they win over 10 milking does, 10 does with at least 8 in milk, then they can get like a champion status on their papers. If you go to sell the kids, that's desirable. However, with Nigerian dwarfs, a lot of times there will be a lot less of other breeds at the show. And then there'll be like, 50 Nigerians. So it's pretty competitive. She just looked really great at that time. So she finished at that show. And I paid $400 for her to breed her to her buck. So I paid her sale price plus the $400 breeding fee. And I ended up with 2 does and a buck, and I was absolutely over the moon. Because the buck, this was new lines for me. And the dam of the buck appraised 91, I think last time she appraised. If anyone's ever been to the North American Livestock Expo, she was champion there back in 2022. Anyway, I bought Easy in 2022. So she hadn't been shown. I took her to one show. She finished. I did not take her back to a show until the next year when I took her to the national show, which was in Louisville in 2024. So like the way the ring was set out, there was a big open hallway with like a lot of air flowing. She wouldn't even walk through there. What's on your back? And I was watching William do showmanship, so I didn't know that Willow couldn't get her to the show ring. I found out later that another judge had actually picked her up and carried her. I felt really bad. Oh, Gracie, I really hope you do get a go. A lot of people lease goats too. If you're not looking to keep them long term, you could probably find a milk goat and lease her, get 2 of them so that they're not lonely, and just milk her. Leases are pretty popular, especially among youth. But I love getting the fresh goat milk. I love making cheese with it. I'm getting ready to make a batch of caramels. And so the caramels that I make, you can use any type of milk or cream in it. I use my goat's milk because goat's milk doesn't separate from the cream, so it just stays really creamy. And they are so good. little baby is screaming. Good morning, Peter. I think his feed is dumped out right there on the ground. Peter he's very picky about where he eats and how close I am to him. Hey, baby, you're trying to get out? You should have come out with me. Excuse me. So he's squeezed out into the main pen. Now he has regretted it. He wants to come back. So I have been filling their water tank outside, trying to get them to go out there and drink because I am tired of hauling water into the barn. And they're more likely to either spill it or get it dirty if it's right here in the barn. Baby. Gracie, if you get a Nubian goat, they're not as high in butterfat as Nigerian dwarf, but they have really high butterfat as well. So a lot of people really love Nubian goat milk. Yes, I got you. I will put you back. Maybe next time you should not escape. Ah! Oh, baby. There's someone here. Trying to see if Chad's out here talking to them or not. It looks like he is. Sorry guys, did not mean to switch on myself. I think he had to pay the gutter guy, so I'm gonna make sure he found the checkbook. Okay, he's leaving, so he must have found it. Babies. I don't know how Eclipse got out. She really drives me nuts, but when I tattooed her, she like did not flinch. And Cecily's babies acted like they were dying, even just trying to hold their ear to tattoo them. Like tattooing is super quick. It's just like one clamp and you're done. You're just rubbing ink on. And they just acted like it was like the worst thing. I am going to spread new shavings on top of some of these old shavings. Excuse me. So there's a bunch of random goats out. Pumpkin's out. Eclipse is out. Last night, Blue was out. And this morning she was in, so kind of you are knocking down the thing. You love goat cheese? Ah, what? I love goat cheese too. Look at this ridiculous dough. That's chicken feed. No ma'am, you're not allowed to have that. This morning, guys. Move your legs. Look at them. They're all acting like they're starving. So, if you have chickens, don't let your goats eat it. They love it, and they'll eat all of it. I got a call from a little kid that's in my 4-H, like in the dairy goats in 4-H, and his goat had jumped out and ate a bunch of chicken feed. By the time they found him, the one was dead. And they asked me if there was anything they could give the other one. I went there, it couldn't get up. I gave it the antitoxin for intertoxemia, C&D antitoxin. And then I also gave it a bloat treatment, but when I took its temperature, it was already down to 91. So basically its body was already shutting down, and then it ended up dying. So this was like that 30-pound block. Look how much they've eaten. It's just a tiny little bump now. Hey, you need to stop. You're being super aggressive. Let's put this up here. Excuse me, ma'am. You can see Eclipse still has some green. Show me your green ears, Eclipse. Where are you going? You're going backwards. Look how green she is. Green-eared goblin. Oh, so you've been baking a lot, Gracie. Yes, I really think you would love them. I have been working on sourdough. So I feel like my starter is really strong. And I've been making like a ton of these sourdough discard chocolate chip cookies, and they're so good. But my bread, I was feeding my starter like 1-1-1. You know, 1 part starter, 1 part water, 1 part flour. And I felt like my bread was too dense. So I was reading that you should decrease the amount of starter and then add more flour and water. So like a couple days ago I did 1 2 2, then I did 1 3 3, and then yesterday I did 1 4 4. So it keeps like growing and oh, I can't even think of the word. It keeps puffing up every night. And so today I'm going to do 1 5 5 and then try it for bread and see if it is a little more light and fluffy. So I have 5 cats right now. 3 of them are outside cats, so they come out and get the mice. I don't have any kittens. And having kittens around pregnant goats is not a good idea. They carry a lot of, I think it's toxoplasmosis. Kittens shed it a lot more than grown cats do. So you really have to be careful of that if you have pregnant goats and kittens. Yes, Mocha would love to come with you and to you and your boys. They also like rabbit pellets. I have been feeding Peter like in here, and most of the time they don't eat his pellets. And it's usually just, you know, a small amount every day. So I don't know why they don't like the pellets that I buy Peter. But sometimes, like, if they get confused, they'll think it's theirs. Oh no, your house is too cold. So my house is really cold right now, but it's usually warmer. If I turn my microwave light on and then I put it in the microwave, it really likes that because the light just gives off enough heat for it to like really grow really well. If you need any starter, let me know. I had my starter die a couple times, so this time I've stored like lots of backup starter. But now it's doing really good. Like it keeps doubling in size even with, you know, the 1 4 4. So hopefully today with the smaller amount of starter, more flour and more water, it will do even better. And I'll have to let you know how the loaf turns out. I figure if I keep practicing loaves, eventually I'll get like a good loaf that tastes really nice and fluffy. Oh no, log cabin, yeah. And it's been so cold this month, especially January though. So such a cold winter. We are in an old farmhouse, so like there's one part of the kitchen that's super drafty, and it's right where the electrical box is. And so I don't know if they didn't like insulate around it or something, but it gets really cold there. They are just demolishing that protein block. It was sitting in here before, but they didn't notice it till I moved it. So you can see Miss Easy right here. It's her daughter to the right. Easy has not started making milk yet. She's due on March 25th and she's already super wide. And then that's her granddaughter. That's Lulu's daughter in the middle, Grace. Hello, Libby. How are you? Yes, definitely. Definitely. Let me know when you're ready. Oh, stop it. Be nice to the baby. And if you ever need more lavender Orpingtons, let me know too. I can set you up with eggs. Mine have finally started laying again. Babies are jumping all over my legs. You guys are so ridiculous the way you're going after the protein block. Crazies. found myself getting obsessive about checking the thurls on these does. After the one was coded for low thurls, made me start wanting to check them all. Because they ideally should be flat on this part of the rump. And that's more important than being, having not so much slope from this part, from hips to pins. Oh no, not at all. I enjoy talking to you. Your black copper Moran hen has finally started laying again. Yay! I went a long time with no chicken eggs, and then I started getting the turkey eggs. I don't know if anyone else has eaten turkey eggs or if it's just my turkey, but when you go to crack them, they're like really hard to crack. The membrane that's surrounding the, like that's inside of the shell surrounding the yolk part, like you really have to like hit it harder to get it to crack than a chicken egg. And the yolks were actually smaller than the chicken eggs. So I think it's just like chickens have been bred to lay, you know, really productive eggs, and turkeys have not. So you're seeing the larger egg, easier to crack with more yolk inside. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with my turkeys. If I had a male, I would send some eggs your way, but I just have the 2 females, so I was thinking maybe I should get a male. And I actually thought they were both males because they kept like puffing out like a male turkey does. I guess sometimes they do that when there's no male turkey present, since it's just the 2 hens. Not sure how to say your name. Anas, good morning. Welcome. Yeah, if you had a wood stove, the starter would probably grow like crazy next to that. Penny, why are you in here, ma'am? These babies just love the heating pad. So Nutmeg's baby, this large black kid, is 2 weeks old today. Mocha is 2 weeks old today. Frosty will be 3 weeks on Sunday. These 2 little girls are 10 days old. And then the 2 in sweaters are 5 days old. They'll be 5 days old tonight. So look how big Nutmeg's kid is. He is just gigantic. I think he would make a great weather for someone. Because I feel like he's going to be 50 pounds by the time July, you know, fair season rolls around. He's an absolute chunker. Guys, who is fighting? What's going on? Why is everyone fighting easy? Okay, Moon. A lot of the junior does come in and they're absolutely shocked to see newborn babies. Oh, there's Chia's brother, or Chia's baby. Baby, one of the brothers. So he will be 3 weeks old on Sunday. He's still smaller than Nutmeg's big giant kid over there. You can't step on the babies, they're trying to sleep. See how much bigger he is than Pepper? He's 12 days older than her, and he's just gigantic. I think he's one of the biggest Nigerian babies I've had. course, it does help that he was a single, so he was twice the size of her when he was born. He was 6 pounds. Good morning, baby. Oh, Frosty. Abe, I don't know if you're still on here. Here's Miss Frosty. She did get disbudded, but she's doing great. See her little frosted nose. She's so cute and sweet. Say good morning to Abe, Frosty. You just look so sleepy. Brother, what are you doing? You're coming through the fence. You are always in the wrong area. You're always trying to squeeze through a fence somewhere. Oh, okay. Yes, I really wish I had a wood stove here, but we don't really have a good source of wood. Miss Penny, you still got the green ears too. Penny did not like being tattooed. All of the girl babies are so calm. Mocha's being very calm with them. Said you look great, Frosty. Thanks, Gracie. If you did add a fireplace though and you have so much wood, that would be amazing. What are you doing? You're so spunky this morning. Do you want a bottle? Maybe I'll try the bottle. Give it one more round before I go in. Miss Revy, you were looking wide. Are you going to have more than a single buck kid this year? So Revy was shown as a senior kid back in 2023. So she actually got her junior leg then. A doe can have one leg. I was talking about the 3 legs needed before to become a champion. They can have one of those as a junior kid or as a junior. And then the other 2 have to be while they're milking. And I showed you Cecily's legs in there, how close they are, but her daughters are so wide. Just one generation with a buck that has a ton of width between the hocks has put a ton of width on these girls. So they did not get shown last year. They were born in July. And I don't show babies. I will show them when they're like 4 months old, but that's about the youngest that I'll go. Honestly, I've seen people show tiny little baby goats, and I think it's a little crazy. They never walk. They're always screaming. They're usually like super hairy and hunched up. So the bottle's still pretty warm. We'll see if they want to try it. Hi, Pumpkin. Why is your nose so dirty? Hi, Easy Baby. Good morning. You can see which does were bottle fed as kids. Oh, brothers, don't do that. Anybody? Anybody? Hi, Lulu. So I'm very excited about Lulu. We ultrasounded her, and I think I saw at least twins, but I'm very new at it. Ashley let me bring her up and breed her to her new buck. So whatever she has, I will be keeping, unless it's 2 bucks. Then I will just keep 1 buck. Okay, either take it or leave it. They're like, no, there's another goat spit on this. I'm not sure how to say the name. It's like Z or XIAINI. It's a UK company. It's the same kind that Ashley had, which is why I bought it, because a friend of ours had to sell all of her goat stuff. So she had it, and I watched her. Okay, no, ma'am, you're not a baby. I watched her ultrasound Ashley's goats, and it seemed like it was pretty easy to use and like see. So I bought it from her used. Okay, you are stepping on babies, ma'am. Okay, I guess nobody wants the bottle except Mocha. So we're still kind of like figuring it out. Usually Willow comes out with me and we try to see something. So apparently Beauty is the only one that wants a bottle. Are you okay, buddy? Wow, Beauty's standing on me. No, Blue, don't be mean. Oh well, I guess we'll save this for lunchtime. Maybe you guys will be hungry then. Maybe we'll try. So I really, oh, I'm sorry, that was Grown's Family Farm. I thought it was Gracie. So Gracie follows Mulberry Branch too. I'll have to look up the ultrasound machine for sure. I know it's a UK company. I just got it in December. So when I bought it used, she sold it to me for $1,200. So that was like quite a bit off from what it would be new. I think new, they're near 2,000. So I was really excited to get it used. So if you can, I don't know if you're looking for one, but if you can find one used from someone that has taken care of it. So Gracie, I absolutely hate singleton burrs, and that's because usually they're big. And I don't like to fish for kids. I don't like pulling kids. Now Nutmeg did have this one on her own. She had him unassisted, but she's kidded like 7 times, so like I feel like she knows what's going on. Pancake had Mocha, and he presented with only a foot. The foot had to go in, the head had to come out, and of course his head was tucked down. So we had to pull it up and then out, and then she still couldn't have him with only the head, but some of my does can have them with, head only. So then we had to fish a front leg back out. So in hindsight, I wonder maybe if we could have just pulled the head up and left the leg out, but it just felt like there was hardly any room to maneuver. And Pancake is not a super wide doe. I have been breeding for wider does because of that. But I don't like when there's too many either, because then they can get tangled. Last year I actually had a doe have a kid rump first, like no legs, just rump. And I thought that was really impressive because usually you have to fish out the rear feet. But by the time I realized what was coming out, you know, she had already pushed it out. It was a big kid too. Of course, Sassly is not super wide. She had the quads and she had them all really easily, but they were super small. So I don't like when they're super small either. If I got to pick, I would pick twins for everyone. They're all decent, usually decently sized. You know, there's not one super tiny one that's really weak. They're usually able to be positioned because there's not like 12 limbs when you go in or 16 limbs. So the one that I have is just black and white, but it does allow you to like freeze the picture. And apparently you can buy different sized wands for it. So the wand that I have, I guess, is a bigger one. So I think I'm gonna buy a smaller to go up under the leg. I don't know if you have, thought I saw that you have boar goats, so you might like the bigger one. We did ultrasound a few weeks ago though, and we were able to see like a lot of babies. So we did notice a lot of multiples. So Nutmeg's kid is acting a little strange and his disbudding site looks a little weepy. I did notice him budding stuff right after he got disbudded, so. Probably give him some pain medicine and maybe an antibiotic. I've not really had any problems with disbuddings. But I guess if you do enough, you'll see different things. You guys are so friendly. Hi, Snickers. If anyone saw the video of Licorice I just posted, this was the super weak doe kid. I wasn't expecting Licorice to kid. We had a week range for due dates. She was running around, acting all crazy, so I'm like, well, I don't think she's gonna have them. I come out the next morning and this little doe, whoa, is piled up in the main pen, completely, you know, dried off, but it was cold. And I thought it looked like a towel. Like she wasn't moving. I realized it was a kid and I had to look really close to even see that she was breathing. So, of course, I go out there, grab them both up. Licorice is doing great. She's just running around eating hay. Okay, Penny, you are too big to be back here. And they hadn't eaten because she still had the plugs in her teats. So that's why they all came into my bathroom. Willow was shocked when I brought them in. And so we got them dried off, and I used the stomach tube feeding kit on her because I really did not think that without it she was going to make it, because she would not move. You know how they tuck their head back to their flank? She wasn't even shivering. She was like a little rag doll. So I don't like tube feeding, but she's only the second kid that I've used it on. And so it did really perk her up. And I just used a dextrose solution. So you never feed a cold kid. So she got warmed up. She got tube fed the dextrose, and then she just started coming back to life. And she's been with Licorice ever since. She's doing great. And she's actually grown quite a bit. She looks a lot more filled out than when she was born. Her sister is like a pound bigger, so she was like walking around. She wasn't like her. So I wonder if she was born after, and so she was not as cold. Or just the extra weight just helped keep her like warmer. I really hate missing their births, especially if it's a first freshener. I try to always be there in case, you know, they get stressed out. They forget to clean off a kid or something. But Licorice did really well. She seems like a really attentive mom. Yes. Oh, so you have Nigerian dwarf goats. That's the same thing as me. Yeah, usually when they're singles, Abe, they're bigger. I actually just saw a friend that lives in Ohio. She has alpines. So the doe was American alpine. The sire was French alpine. And she had a kid, and the kid was 16 pounds. It's really large for a dairy goat kid, even an alpine kid. And the kid looked huge, like it had the hugest face. I felt bad for the doe. I think triplets, for the most part, have been okay for me. Easy did scare me with her triplets because, so I had just bought her that year, and she was supposed to be my really nice show doe, and, you know, I had paid to have her bred, so I didn't have access back to the buck. So we were worried like all fall about keeping her safe, not letting her get butted by anyone so she would lose the kids. And so I didn't give her any shots. I didn't like want to stress her out because she was already moving to a new place, which is stressful enough. So when she got ready to kid, like I had been waiting for days, like a week before, I was getting up and checking her all night, and she went like 3 days over. So when she finally started pushing, she pushed, and it got to like 30 minutes and nothing was happening. And I was like, oh, great. Of course, it has to be this one doe, my most anticipated kidding. So I called Ashley. Ashley's like, yeah, you probably want to go in and check. So I went in, and it was Lulu. And she was coming out hocks first. And so hocks first is not, usually you have to go in and fish out the feet. So I kind of got her feet out. And so she was born really quick. The next kid was born immediately after, like just a few minutes, and he was perfect nose and toes. And then, of course, there was 3. The last one was like, I don't know. I put my hand in because nothing was coming out, and it felt like she was tangled into a ball. I don't know if she was just cramped from, you know, the 3 being in there and pretty big sized. So I found some feet, and I was hoping like they were back feet, because if, you know, you get the 2 back feet, they can be born breech pretty easily. You just have to be quick because it puts pressure on the umbilical cord so they can, okay, don't be mean to the babies. They can suffocate more quickly. But unfortunately, it was front feet. So I had the front feet out, but no head. And her head was tucked down between her front legs. And that's like the worst birthing position, because a lot of times they've been stuck in that position and they don't, like, even if you get their head up, they want to put it back down. So I don't know. I tugged on her. I don't know if she moved her head in position or what, but she popped out, and it had been a long time. I was not expecting her to be alive or energetic, but she was. She got up and she was running around. She was yelling. She was ready to eat. She was a doe that was Revy. So I named her Revival. But yes, I had called my vet right before that, and I'm like, I have a doe here. I think I'm going to have to bring her in. But then she was born, so we did not have to bring her in. Snickers, you're being so friendly. So Easy's first kidding was very stressful. Last year she had triplet bucks, and they were all born with no assistance from me. So I'm not going to complain about that, even though it was $3. All of these kids have been so sweet this year. Some years we have like a few that are a little bit wild and crazy, but this year they've all been really sweet. Hi, Mocha Mocha. Look how much more his ears are standing up. So they're supposed to look like this. Yes, you're supposed to have upright ears. They're getting there. He looks like he's mixed with boar. He's so big and chunky. His ears are kind of airplane right now. Everyone else has really petite little upright ears. Okay, so who else is out? Chia and Tiny are having a big fight. I've never had one do this, Gracie. I don't know why his ears were like that. I was like, maybe I pulled on his head weird and it made his ears floppy. But, so I guess Ashley's dealt with it before. She said usually 2 weeks. And so it's been 2 weeks today, and they are getting pretty straight. So I feel like they're going in the right direction, but I've never had one with these weird ears like this. I'm like, what is going on? Because I only have Nigerians here. They're not, you know, Nigerians are all to be registered by ADGA or with the AGS, the American Goat Society. They had to be purebred. So they're not mixed with anything. I actually don't have any that are registered with AGS except for Cecily. She came dual registered. No. We're not letting a bunch of goats out. Blackberry. Blackberry is super bossy. They are cute. He looks very lovable and sweet. So if he went like that into adulthood as a buck, I'm trying to think if that would be a disqualification. Nigerian dwarfs don't have too many breed-specific disqualifications. However, height is one. A buck cannot be higher than 23.5 inches at the withers, and that's standing with their hocks directly underneath the pins. So you can't like stretch your goat out and, you know, really long and then have him get measured. I think the ears, if they had anything other than upright ears, so if he had pendulous ears or La Mancha type ears, it would be a disqualification. So those are breed specific disqualifications. They are allowed to be any color variety. They're allowed to have blue eyes. Now a lot of other breeds have very different breed specific disqualifications. Usually they're the color breeds, like the Saanen, Oberhausley, Toggenburg, the Guernsey. The Oberhausleys seem really strict. Like, the does can be completely black, but bucks, if they're black, that's a disqualification. If they have a large white spot that's larger than 1.5 inches, it's a disqualification. I actually judged an Oberhausley last year, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this goat, because there was not one spot that was bigger than 1.5 inches that was white. However, she had like a weird white roning all over her side. And so she was a really nice doe. And if you're familiar with the Oberhausley breed, you know that they have mixed in a lot of Alpine. Like if they can find a Chamoisé type Alpine, they'll mix that in to go to get the larger body size and to get improvement in the mammary system and the rump. So you're kind of dealing with that. After so many generations, they go back to being a full-blooded Obe. But this one, I was like, what did the other judges say? And she said that she did get placed down for it, but she hadn't been disqualified. So she said, if next year, if she does not darken up, I'm going to change her to like experimental. And I felt bad for her because she was a really pretty doe. She was just too light. I really think Tiny loves being in the kidding room. She always wants to come out here and hang out. And she'll be kidding, hopefully by the 20th. A lot of times she is actually gone on her due date. So I'm really hoping some of them go on their due date this year and not over. Like Sage going a week over, which is ridiculous. I miss Blue. Get your lipstick on, your upper lip. Is your eye okay? Some of these girls really need to go back into the main pen. Especially you two. Are you Time? Who are you? Are you Grace? Go, go, go. Cecily's kids are finding out that I milked her out. Did your kids not get any milk? They're big enough. They don't need any. Okay, so just Tiny is the only one, and Blue, that needs to go back out. Do you want to hang out in here, Tiny? Tiny is the oldest goat in the herd. She'll be 7 in April. Yes, you're going to be the oldest girl here. She hates showing. She does not like to walk in the show ring. Hi, Julie Marshall. Thanks for being here. Any of my goats for meat. So Nigerian dwarfs, they're not very big. So they take a little bit of time to grow out. We have harvested 1 buck in the past. And then I have 2 now that if my kids don't take them as for age, they will be going for meat. Because they're smaller, I think it takes quite a bit longer to grow them to make them big enough to be worth it. So that's kind of a downside if you don't have a lot of space or you don't feel like feeding them out that long. But I have seen some Nigerian wethers that are really nice. So I think that they do have a place for that. And I think that they should. There's not going to be a use for every single buck kid that's born. And I think to make the Nigerian breed practical for people, there has to be a use for the buck kids. Hi, buddy. Blue, why are you standing up there? Yes, I've had a lot go for pets. I had some go to a grazing crew. A lady bought 8 wethers last year, so not everyone is going to be eating them. Again, like I said, they take longer to grow up big enough to be worth it. So you've never had goat meat. I think it tastes really mild, especially if you get like a wether or a doe that's not been like a fully intact buck. I've never eaten full buck meat, but I would think it would have kind of a bucky flavor if it was an older buck. I think it tastes good. I mean, it doesn't taste like deer. It doesn't have like that gamey taste. We actually made quite a bit of jerky from it, and then a lot of people make like tacos or they'll make a roast. You got the zoomies. Yes, you do. Blue. Blue's up here like dancing on the milk stand. Or not the milk stand, the feed bin. Are you ready to go back out? Tiny is enjoying herself so much. I hate to put her back out. She's just loving this granola block. Great in tacos. Yes, they do make good tacos. Goats are actually eaten very widely around the world, more so than here in the US. Of course, the dairy goat's never going to have the same amount of meat or the growth rate as a full meat goat. I know a lot of people that are dairy goat breeders will breed their first fresheners with a meat type goat, and that way the kids can go as wethers or meat. You know, even does, they can go for a market animal. Because typically with first fresheners, you're not going to sell a buck because you don't know how the doe's memory system looks before she freshens. So Julie Marshall, you want a milking goat. Now's a good time to buy. A lot of milking goats being born, dairy goats everywhere. Here in Indiana, there's a ton of dairy breeders. Ohio also has a big number of dairy breeders. I think Kentucky's catching up. So in the state of Ohio, there's a ton of sanctioned shows, like American Dairy Goat Association shows. Indiana has a really good number. I know Michigan does not have a lot. I think it might only have 2. Kentucky doesn't have a whole lot, but Ohio has a really, really big number. Illinois also has a lot. I'm actually judging a buck show there in October. And then I got a call about the Sandwich County Fair, but it was like on September 3rd. So I already had a fair here in Ohio. I've heard really great things about the Sandwich County Fair. Like a lot of exhibitors were telling me how great it is. But if you're in Ohio, the Fulton County Fair is also supposed to be one of the bigger ones in Ohio. I judged their dairy goat show last year. And so it was like a nice show. There wasn't a ton of goats there. So I'm going back this year. Oh, so you're in Colorado. Want to share sustainability. Well, goats are great for that. They're very flexible. Tennessee's coming up. Yeah, there's a lot of dairy goat shows in Tennessee. Actually, the goat show that we are putting on here in May, it's our first sanctioned show. It's I think probably the only show that's closest to Cincinnati in the area. There's not like a sanctioned show in the Cincinnati area. We're in Indiana, but we're not too far from Cincy. And my two judges that I hired for the show are both from Tennessee. So they will be making the drive up to judge our show. I'm really, really excited about them. The one judge is extremely experienced. She has been an appraiser. She's been judging dairy goats for a really long time. She's actually in charge of the national show. So I was just shocked that she was willing to come to our show. And the other judge is a new judge. She's an apprentice judge. But she puts on several shows in Tennessee every year. And so I'm excited about her coming up to Indiana. Brother, why don't you let them sleep? Why do you start trying to fight them? So your kids live in Ohio, so they're not too far from me. I don't know. I judged a buck show in Cookeville, Tennessee in October. And everyone was so nice. A lot of really nice animals. It's a really great experience. So in Cookeville, there's like a really big historic barn where they hold the show. And so they were talking about, I think, tearing down the barn. And I was supposed to go down in May to judge their doe show, but they didn't think that they were going to have the location because of that barn being torn down. Why are you stepping on your sister? Get down. So she said, I don't think, I think we're going to have to cancel the show. So I expected it to be canceled because she said that. And then I took another show in Ohio that weekend. So she just messaged a couple days ago and said, we're actually able to have the show. Are you still available? But now I'm not. So Cookeville's about 2 hours from you. Seemed like a really nice city. It had quite a few, like it seemed like it had a lot there. It was actually a 4-ring buck show, so there was 4 judges. And like at multiple ring shows, all the judges are usually judging all the same goats unless for some reason you don't enter your goat in one of the rings. Usually the most common reason for that is your goat has finished or has received its 3 champion legs. So it's polite to pull them from the last ring and give someone else the opportunity, especially with Nigerians because there's just so many goats. There was like a ton of Nigerians there, but not a lot of the other breeds. I think they actually had to put some of the standards in AOP, which is all other purebreds. I really love how all the babies lay in here together. They're so cute in their cuddle puddle. Okay, Blue, why don't you go back out since you're up here on the feed bin? Okay, ma'am. Sage, do you want to go out? No one's crowding the door now. It was nice not to have to fight goats off. You want to go out? No, you were already out there and you kept screaming to come back in. I know your trick. I noticed Chocolate Chip come up to the door. Wonder if she'll go over. Hopefully it's not a week like Sage. That was very exhausting having to do the checks all night long, but we have so many due this week. I feel like it's going to be a very sleepless week. Hey, Cheerio. Crumble. Crumble always wants out. You guys need to go out today and get some fresh air. The sun's out. Go enjoy the sunshine. Yeah, it did seem like they had a lot of places to spend money, a lot of restaurants and stuff. But that's kind of a haul, so. I didn't realize until I got there that they're actually in Central Time, which is, I felt like they were directly south, but I guess they're kind of to the west. So it was like, what? We're in a different time zone? Crumble or Cheerio. She's trying to find a spot to jump out. It's very naughty. Here are the turkeys outside. They have been really naughty too. They went across the road yesterday. The other day they went in the road and a car had to beep at them. They like fly out of every pen. So I was not prepared to keep turkeys. I really don't like going out and chasing animals from the road. My neighbors probably think I'm insane with all these weird animals. It's like a menagerie. Okie dokie, guys. Well, I'm going to hop off here and feed my bucks. Again, thank you for joining me. Hope you all have a great Friday. If I don't see you again, have a really great weekend. Tomorrow I won't be live, but Willow will. I volunteer for VITA, which is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program on Saturday mornings. So anyway, she will be out here managing the animals. So hopefully William comes out and helps her, at least to milk Pancake. So I hope you all have a great Friday, a great weekend. Bye, everyone.